So Gabrielle, tell me your story. Which story are you going to tell me?
Right, there's like a lot. So,
what's the last health-related story that you think someone else could benefit from?
oh, definitely getting screened for breast cancer. I suffer from cystic breasts, so it means that my breasts are very dense. And we've already discussed the positives of
I
that.
have cystic breasts too,
Right. So we stay perky for a very long time. So that's a positive.
Yes. There's always a positive.
Right. But the downside of it is you end up with false positive readings on your mammograms, which means that they're going to call you in for multiple screenings.
Yes, that happens.
Yes. And to have to go through a 3D mammogram and then a sonogram, and then to have to be poked and prodded. So as a result, I have several beads in my breast as markers, so they know that this was a benign cyst and it's nothing to worry about unless it grows, and then they need to check it again. But the hard part about that is number one, feeling like you're not being listened to when you tell them, I've been through this before, this is what's going on, and still having to go through that. And then I was fortunate that I have a family of doctors and so I have an aunt who's a retired obstetrician and gynecologist, and she's on my father's side of the family, and that side of the family, cancer runs throughout all types of cancers. And what she advised me to do is, going forward, to go straight to the ultrasound and not even do the mammogram, because she said they're not going to catch it. If I do have something, the likelihood of them catching it, because I have dense breasts, are slim.
Yes.
And the ultrasound is a much better way to go, so they can see everything.
So now I know the issues I've had with that before have to do with insurance and authorization for, because they have a step process. So is there something that she had mentioned with regard to that, or is that just
other than to make sure that they cover
Right,
it,
okay.
and to see how much they cover
right?
before I go in
Right.
requesting anything. And I think that's why the WeKNOW project is very important. And there's so many, and I'm speaking in generalities. I don't have, this is anecdotal, let me be very clear about that. But there are so many women I've spoken to, especially Black women, who do have this problem where they have dense breasts and they have to go in for multiple mammograms, just to make sure that what they see is benign.
Now, my experience is that they ask me to do, once they do the mammogram, I've never been asked to do a follow-up mammogram. They always go to an alternate procedure. So you've had,
so they'll come in and they'll do another set of films, and then what they'll do is they'll do what's called a 3D mammogram.
Okay. So that has never been offered to me. I'm going to be
Really?
honest with you. So yeah, my experience is mammogram, and this is from last year, mammogram, then ultrasound.
Oh.
So I was also told, though, that having the data, especially for women with dense breasts, from a 3D mammogram is helpful, because it does give you a baseline.
Right.
So that when you have another one, it's...
Right.
So that was recent advice from one of my friends who's a doctor. And so my plan is for this year to get
The
the 3D, because
Right.
I have not yet.
Yeah, and I've had a 3D, so I got a 3D mammogram, so that was 2019,
Okay.
and then I got one in 2017.
Oh, okay.
And so 2018, no problem. 2019, because I had new cysts, they're like, okay, we need to do more. So now that I'm going to the same doctor, 2017 through 2019 was the same doctor, but before then it was a completely different doctor. And so hopefully now that I'm with the same doctor, I have a history with the doctor, we can just get the 3D part and go straight to the ultrasound to make sure I'm okay.
And that's been an issue for me in the past as well, because I have been on the affordable health care. And the issue, particularly in Georgia, has been that the providers have shrunk.
Right.
And basically for the last 4 years, and actually last year I was independent, I've had a different provider every year.
Right.
And so continuity of care is a huge issue that I don't think a lot of people appreciate.
Right.
Because when you don't have the same doctor, it is like starting over. And that history, those experiences are really critical.
Yeah.
Please share your story because everyone has a different experience.
Exactly.
Everyone has a different body.
Exactly.
And women with dense breasts stand up, just like your breasts.
And they will stand up, according to my aunt, who is almost 80. You'll have perky breasts.
We
well
both had
until
aunts with dense
your 80s.
breasts who the doctors, well, at least my aunt told me, the doctor was marveling at the fact that she had not had any surgical intervention.
Right.
And mind you, she's passed away for at least 10 years. And so this was probably 20, how old was I? Let me not date myself. So it's probably about 10 or 15 years before that. So, and I was just like, what is going on up there? So anyway.
And will mine look like that?
No, I just crossed my fingers that I'll be 80 and people will be like, did you get surgery?
But no, it's all natural.
Anyway, yes, it's all just dense breasts. So that's not a diagnosis, is it? Because that's also interesting from a policy, and when we talk about, sort of the what kinds of diagnoses and codes they have. Because I think going back to insurance,
right,
it would be great if there was a way to indicate, because of this
exactly
sort of condition, which is dense breast, that it makes sense for that particular treatment protocol to be followed.
Exactly.
So
exactly, and that we don't get treated as a statistic. So statistically, women in this age should be fine, and yeah, you can go and have your mammogram. Like, we should make a standard protocol that you should have your mammogram every 2 years, and you don't need to start until 45. I started getting mammograms at 30.
So you mentioned that you have the markers for your benign cyst. Have you thought about having it taken out? What kind of was your decision?
I wanted to keep it because I didn't want to have to go through a whole bunch of unnecessary tests. And so if I do have to change doctors for whatever reason, I can let them know I have 2 markers on my right breast and 1 on my left.
Okay.
And I can show them exactly where they are. So when they see the films and I'm correct, they will listen, hopefully.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I didn't have any objection to the markers.
Okay. All right. Well, there you have it. If you got any questions, reach out. We know women embracing the knowledge necessary for our wellness.
Yes.
And Gabraelle.
Tanya.